Now for this sample, we're going to use our convex curve that we've overlocked, and we're going to identify the right and the wrong side of the overlocking stitch. So you can see the two sides are actually different, and we're going to use this side because that is our right side, and that's what should be facing outwards when we finish our hem. So for this sample, we're doing a narrow hem with an overlocked edge. Okay, so we've got our overlocked edge and we're going to hem it up. Now this is on a curve, so it's going to be a little bit tricky, but you need to have an idea of how to do this because your hem on your shorts is curved. Now seam allowance, as we know, is 1 centimetre. So I've got a seam gauge ruler here that I've set to 1 centimetre, and I could see when I fold up my overlocked edge, if I've got a little bit extra hanging out there on the fold, that's roughly 1 centimetre folded. So that's what I'm going to aim to achieve when I fold it up as I sew. So I've got the overlocked edge plus about 2 or 3 millimeters of fabric showing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to place this under our machine and we're going to finger press it. What that means is we're just going to press it gently, and because it's a cotton fabric, this calico is cotton, it will press quite well, as you can see. When we are stitching our hem, we want to aim to stitch between the edge of the overlocking and that stitch line there. So ideally, when we stitch, we're actually stitching here. Now this sample is actually quite tricky to do well, and like with our plain seam, we're going to do it so that we're not marking it and we're not pinning it. It's a bit thin to pin. We're going to do it in a way that is more time effective. So I line up the edge of my presser foot, the center edge there, in between the edge and that first line on the overlocking stitch, because that's where I'm aiming to stitch my hem. So again, start by reversing and then continue. As you go along, you have to stop and finger press your hem, just having that 2 to 3 millimeters of fabric showing at the fold there, and continuing to stitch in between the edge and the first line on the overlocking stitch. And you can go real slow doing this, you'll get a much better finish. And you need to stop and adjust every so often. So finger press, use your left hand to hold one side down. Now you may get a couple little tucks, but that is absolutely fine because it's on the inside. You're not actually going to see it. So stop, readjust, and sew. So stop, finger press, readjust, and sew. Once you've completed this, you can give it an iron so it's got a nice crisp finish. So again, at the end, do your reverse stitch. Take up lever up, pull your work out, trim your thread. So having a look at that, that's a nice even stitch line around a curve, so it's quite difficult, but definitely achievable. And if you look under here, you may get a couple little tucks, but that is absolutely fine because you're not actually going to see them because they're on the inside.